ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of Two Dudes with Attitudes Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, Jason, and as always, this is
John.
Welcome back. How's everything going, buddy?
Man, it's going. I mean, we are 2 days away from SummerSlam.
Yes, we are. Now, just a quick note, since we are, like I said, this episode is mainly going to be a lot about SummerSlam. So we will have the audio up. We should have it up by tonight. If not, it'll be as quickly as tomorrow because, like I said, it'd be pointless to have this out after SummerSlam. So the audio side will be on Spotify for sure by tomorrow. And then hopefully we can have the video by tomorrow night. But like I said, we'll have the audio online on Spotify so that everybody can be able to listen. So, but now, John, I know you've been working on a few things with the social media side. I know you said we got a TikTok going now.
Yeah, we got TikTok and we got a Twitter account up and running since the last time we did our show.
Yeah, like I said, we're slowly trying to get everything out there. I know I've slacked in a little bit, and that's my fault. But we are going to get there, and we're just taking time. But from the statistics, from what we've posted on YouTube and stuff, we are getting. You did a short video the other day, as I just checked a minute ago, had right about 200 views, so not bad.
Yeah, we're doing good there.
It looks like the shorter videos are getting a little bit more hits. We might try and start doing a little bit smaller ones, just time to time, just to add some little different to it. So,
right. Also, too, guys and gals and everybody listening to us out there on Spotify, or if you're watching this video on YouTube, this Saturday night, I believe we're gonna go. I think around maybe 7:30. I don't remember exactly. I think we were talking about 7 the last time. About doing a pre-show.
Yeah, it starts at 7. I'm gonna try and get on here maybe about 6:30. Like I said, if I don't know what you got going on yet, but you can join on anytime. I like to try to get up a little bit. I want to try and get on here a little bit sooner. Because I know last time we did it, we kind of did it on the fly last minute, so we didn't get to start on time. But we'll see. Anywhere from 6:30 to 7 o'clock is our plan. We want to be live with you all. While the pre-show is going on. Also, as I said on the last episode, we're hoping to have a special guest, buddy of mine, Chris. He's actually got me into wrestling years ago. He's going to try and join us. Supposedly, he said they're going to, because he lives down in Florida, they're going to Clearwater Beach for the weekend. So he's going to try and do it on his phone. So we'll see if we can get it to work. If can't, but we'll see how it goes. So
right.
But like I said, what we're going to be doing it on? Are we going to do Facebook Live again? Is that what we're going to plan to do? I guess.
Yeah, we're going to try to do Facebook Live. Hopefully, I'm not real sure if we're going to try to do it through one of our personal pages or through the actual Facebook group page.
Yeah.
If we do it through the Facebook group page, we might be able to simulcast it on our YouTube channel too at the same time.
Yeah, we'll experiment with that and try to get it figured out and see.
Right, I'll put a short video out and a TikTok out when we figure out what we're going to do. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you already haven't. Two Dudes with Attitudes Wrestling Podcast on YouTube, and our TikTok is at Two Dudes with Attitudes 1. That's our TikTok. Two Dudes with Attitudes 1 on TikTok. Check our YouTube channel. I'll get a short out and I'll get something out, let you know what we're going to be on, what platforms we're going to be on.
So. Yeah, for sure. So, all right, I guess we got all that out of the side. Let's kind of get into what we're here for. I know before. Like I said, we said it's mainly going to be kind of a lot of talk about SummerSlam, but before we get into that, let's talk a little bit. Let's start with AEW. I know there hasn't been a whole lot since last week. Their new show did did air. The AEW Rampage aired that Friday night. Of course, that was after we did this. I thought it was a pretty good show. We watched it together. Kind of surprising. I didn't think Christian was going to end up winning the TNA title. So that kind of,
Yeah.
kind of surprised me. I guess to make that the opening match and have it to change the title. But I guess if you think about it, excuse me, they they probably did that so that people would stay tuned for the rest of the show, thinking, well, if there's a big title change, what else is going to happen? But nothing really else crazy happened. But it was still a good show for the hour long. So.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, they did a good job with that. Omega and Christian did a good job. Now they are still going to fight it all out for the AEW title. And a matter of fact, tonight on Impact, I do believe he's defending those titles tonight on Impact. So
yeah,
that I mean, Rampage turned out pretty good.
Yeah. They said I think the ratings got about 800,000 I think or something. For the initial,
they said it was
like 792,000, I think, or something like that, give or take. I could be off a little bit, but not bad for an hour show at 10 o'clock on a Friday. But of course, by the time this episode comes out, I'm sure it will be. Hopefully, we'll be talking about it on our next episode. But Rampage is tomorrow night is live from Chicago. Big rumors, big speculations that CM Punk's going to show up. Guess we'll wait and see what happens. Supposedly, I read something today. I can't remember where I read it at, but they're talking about that they've already released some of the matches for Rampage, and they're not very for AEW to go to live in a big arena in Chicago. The lineup isn't that special, so that's why they're they're thinking CM Punk's going to be the big thing going into that night. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, well, I mean, the matches themselves aren't that great, but what's interesting with that is is he going to come out during a match? And if he does come out during a match, I'm going to go with the I believe it's going to be the main event, the Jon Moxley and I can't remember the other guy's name off the top of my head, but I believe it's going to be during the Moxley match because the other two matches wouldn't make any sense for him to show up. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, but see, I don't know if he could, I guess, but. Supposedly, there's been some rumors saying that him and Darby Allin are going to fight at the next pay-per-view. So I don't know if he would come out during a match because unless Darby Allin was out there. But I don't know.
I don't know either. I mean, to me, it just wouldn't make sense just for him to show up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, because Darby's not even wrestling that night.
No, but now if Darby comes out at any point of the night and does some kind of interview, then we'll know that's probably what's going to happen. But. I don't know. If it was up to you, would you rather see, if CM Punk does show up, would you rather see him show up at the end of the night or the beginning?
I'd rather see him show up at the end of the night because I feel like it would give the biggest pop, and it would really that's a good way to end Rampage on with a huge debut at the end of the night.
Now, would you if he just came out and just kind of stand there on the entrance and just music playing, but doesn't say anything, goes off there like that? Would you be okay with that?
Yeah, because I mean, if they're not going to have him feud with, we'll just say Moxley, okay?
Right.
If he's not going to do anything in that direction with Moxley, then yeah, I would be okay with that. Just for him to come out and do that at the very end.
Right.
But to me, I know they kept speculating Darby Allin, but I think it would just be cool for him and Moxley to go at it because Moxley's one of those people.
Oh, I agree.
That would just be cool, I think.
Right.
I'm not saying that happen.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
It to me, it would make sense for him to come out at the end of the night during that match, just because Moxley made a promo on Wednesday night, this Wednesday night yesterday, and was talking about he was the guy that carried the company through all the dark times and all this other stuff. Promoing for the match he's going to have at Rampage. But I just wonder if they're going to use that for something for him and Punk. I could be completely out of my league on this. It's just my opinion, guys. This is not facts.
Yeah.
So
I think there's been too much evidence that it's probably going to most likely be Darby Allin that they've used him I think twice now on a couple things that he said. But we'll see. We'll find out. We'll find out tomorrow night. Should be interesting. I'm trying to think. I think that's
real
Go ahead.
quick, while we're in AEW, before we go to SummerSlam, real quick, let's talk about the last labors of Jericho was last night. All right, last
Oh
labors
yeah,
of
yep.
Jericho between him and MJF, and the stipulations of the match were no Judas music, no interest music, and no Judas effect. Well, the crowd sang, the song is his entrance song. And they did a pretty good job. All
Do
right,
you
give
think
them
the
that.
crowd really was, or do you think they piped in sound? I'm sure the crowd
Nah,
added to it,
the
but do you think
crowd,
it was all crowd though?
yeah, I think it was a lot. I would say it's a lot of crowd because it's like they cut the mics the way you can hear the crowd. I don't know.
I joke with Chris earlier when we was talking on Messenger, and he said that, and I was like, "Nah, come on, they piped in just like they did WWE." But
I don't think they
no,
have to pipe in like WWE. The
no.
fans in
I
that
mean
building were going
that.
nuts.
No, no, I do agree. Like I think it was a lot of crowd, but I just wonder if they would have because I feel like they did that on purpose and they wanted to do that just to. Because Jericho was talking about it, saying how much he really enjoyed it, even though he lost the match, but he really
Yeah,
enjoyed how the crowd did that. He said that was a
and
memorable
and
moment for him.
that's the thing. They said that I was reading today that there was kind of a controversial finish to this kind of. I'm like, well, what was controversial about it? I mean, Jericho got Floyd out and hit MJF with the referee not looking.
Right.
Went for the Judas effect and he couldn't do it. And MJF, actually used the Judas effect on him and then turned around and put him in armbar submission with the bad elbow that he had, and Chris Jericho tapped out.
Right.
Um, I I don't know. I'm torn on the match. I feel like it was okay, but I feel like it's not over. Does that make sense?
No, yeah, I don't think so
I
either.
feel like that it'll probably be something at All Out
Right.
between those two, but we'll see. We'll see about that. but that was really it, man, when it came to AEW this week. There just wasn't a lot
No,
going on.
uh, you know, I guess to transition from AEW to WWE and all together, there were some reports online wondering that if, and we kind of talked about, I think, on the last episode too. I know we talked about it on the phone and stuff, but if CM Punk does show up tomorrow night, does it overshadow SummerSlam? Does WWE got to respond in a certain way at SummerSlam to do it? Reports online is that WWE is saying that they're not going to, no matter what happens. But who knows how that can happen? But it will be interesting to see if he does show up, and depending on what happens at SummerSlam,
Right.
what will get more talk. So
Well, I can say this much: it may not overshadow SummerSlam and the effects of the event itself, but it will definitely overshadow their social media, in my opinion.
yeah, yep,
I think the Twitter will light up. But speaking of SummerSlam, all right, and some stuff to make SummerSlam big. CM Punk coming. They're kind of speculation, like you said, that it may overshadow SummerSlam, right?
yeah,
So I read today, just actually before we tried to come on air earlier, we were trying to sort out our technical difficulties. That Cardi B was supposed to be there, as a host or whatever.
yeah.
That's scrapped. She's pregnant and she nixed that in the bud, so that's not happening. They also tried to get Mike Tyson today for whatever. They tried to get Mike Tyson, um, and this was at Ringside News reported this.
Uh-huh.
That they tried to get Mike Tyson for some voiceovers, and he refused to do it.
Huh.
I would say in part that's probably because he's been doing stuff AEW. So
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
true.
know. But then they were also trying to get Megan Stallion. I
Yeah,
didn't put
Mega the
Megan.
Stallion.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, they thought that was 100% done deal, and she pulled out
Huh.
on them. So now they're trying to figure something out. But as of right now, they have like nothing like that. No
See, I don't really think they need
post.
anybody though. I mean,
I wouldn't think so either, but
I
apparently they
mean,
sure did.
for I don't know. Like, if you're gonna do it, do a wrestler. Just let's hope they don't bring Bad Bunny.
No,
Let's
I
keep
don't
Bad
think
Bunny
Bad Bunny.
away.
Uh, and also, too, I want to talk about real fast is Adam Cole on his contract update. Because NXT 36 after SummerSlam is
Yeah,
his
this
last
Sunday.
match.
Yep.
And and I read where could he have hinted where he was going to go, goes or stays.
Right.
And so I read it, and it really didn't tell you any more than what we already know, which is we
Yeah.
don't know
Yeah.
where he's going, other than they offered him, $1 million. We talked about this in the last cast, but they offered him $1 million, a year.
Yep.
But he said he wanted he wasn't getting rid of his Twitch, which WWE apparently, from what I heard from Going in Raw's podcast today, I was listening to.
Yeah.
They said that's Twitch is banned at WWE now. That's why you haven't seen
stopped
anybody.
that a while back.
Right. Well, he said because he's not getting rid of that was kind of like a hint maybe that he may be going elsewhere. Now that's not much of a hint to me whether or not he's going elsewhere on his Twitch account.
No, not at all. Yeah, because
I mean, but that was just a little bit of newsworthy stuff. So basically, Adam Cole still does not know what he's doing. I guess we'll find out after NXT's
depending
takeover.
on how they go, what direction they go at the pay-per-view.
So with that being said, buddy, let's get into.
Well, before we go to WWE, we'll talk a little bit real quick. I know we don't really follow it too much, but it was kind of a couple interesting notes. That they had the AAA show down in Mexico.
Oh yes, I meant to bring that up. Thank you.
That Andre had a match down there, and Ric Flair showed up, and walked out with him. Whatever. From what I read, they already said that Charlotte Flair was going to be absent that night, and at the house show because she had already requested off months before. But what I read was kind of funny and it was kind of cool because it'd been interesting to see if how much hype it would have got about it. But supposedly there was rumors that she wanted to be able to walk out with him, but they wouldn't allow it. They wouldn't allow it.
I read that.
That's kind of interesting, how much of a storm that would have, started up. So they went with Ric Flair instead. So
yeah, he got to walk out, and he interfered in that match.
Yeah.
Trying to cost Kenny Omega the AAA title, which he's held for 2 years.
Right.
But he successfully retained that title at that event down there in Mexico City over the past weekend. So yeah, I had that on my list. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah. All right, well, let's move into where the big thing going on this weekend, WWE and SummerSlam. I guess we can kind of lead up. Since the last show we've had Raw and SmackDown.
We can start SmackDown.
Yeah, let's go with SmackDown because it was Friday. Now, I will say we watched that live too. That opening, between Cena and Reigns was legit. I mean, that was probably one of the best promos in a while.
Yeah.
I think they really hit it out the park with that one. I mean, like anybody, I would assume anybody that watched that would say that Cena outpunked them. All no, what's the word when you
yeah.
No pun intended. Sorry, because I said punked.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, Cena, I'm hoping they said that before the night happened, when they both showed up at the arena, that they both stayed away from each other intentionally all the way up into that so that they would stay focused. And I think they said Jamie Noble was behind that whole skit or something. So I don't know if he because he's a producer or whatever, but
right.
I didn't really read it, so I don't know if he did all the lines for it too, or if he kind of gave him hints on what stuff to say. I don't know. I didn't read it exactly, but they said he was the one that was behind it. But regardless, I mean, it was a hell of a promo. They brought in Jon Moxley's name. They brought in Nikki Bella. That was pretty funny. But yeah, I mean, overall, I mean, that really stole the whole show. I mean, the rest of the night was, wasn't bad, but that was
in that promo, Cena brought up an interesting statement when he said that for the past 10 years, the WWE has been protecting Roman Reigns, and they couldn't. They've been selling Roman Reigns to everybody. Nobody seems to want to buy it according to the numbers. Do you think that's legitimate? They really have been protecting him for 10 years, and they've really been trying to sell him? You know, I
Well,
think that's. I mean,
it's been known. I mean, if you follow behind the scenes stuff, it's been known for years that Reigns was supposed to be the next big guy. But it's kind of like a double standard because it makes you just laugh because they did the same thing to John Cena. They protected him for so
exactly.
long. So it's like, and what's crazy is on his past interviews and stuff, he'll admit that stuff that like he knew that he was the big guy. So it's like, whatever. But yeah, it was still funny though. I mean,
Right.
like I said, I think with WWE is that they wanted Reigns to be, the next big guy, but since all that started happening, the fans have changed their style. You know what I'm saying? They
Right.
don't go now towards good guys and bad guys. You know what I'm saying? You might have fans that like him as a good guy and a bad guy, and they're going to cheer for a bad guy and they're going to boo a good guy. So it's like WWE's lost when it comes to that. They don't control that no more. So I think that was their biggest. They didn't know how to handle that because they wanted him to be the good guy. They wanted everybody to cheer for him, but it was the opposite for a while. So
Oh yeah, he got booed out of
yeah,
arenas. He got
yeah.
booed at all sorts of stuff.
I mean, it was great when they were, all still three together as a shield. Everybody loved him. But then when they tried to put him on his own, it's like, in my opinion, and I'm sure you would probably agree, when they split them up, Seth Rollins was the bigger name for the longest time.
Oh, without a doubt. And
Yeah.
I mean, and honestly, like, I liked what they did with Moxley's character, and they
Yeah.
made him into like the asylum, into a nut job,
Right. Right.
and he still kind of carries that persona now, you
Yes.
know, uh, but um, yeah, like I like it. I know we talked too, you talk about Rollins being the bigger guy or whatever, where they've gone with his character, I'm not liking it too much. I wish they go back a little bit with his character like they used to, but that's just my
Yeah.
opinion on that. But yeah, you're right. That ever since they did split the Shield, it was more Rollins was the man,
Right. Right.
than Roman Reigns, and it was proven quite a bit by
Oh
the
yeah.
fans.
Oh
So,
yeah.
um, yeah,
But
that was a really good promo for sure that they both cut.
yeah, I
Um,
mean,
they
like I
kept
said
it
before,
PG, and they kept it PG,
well,
but we got the
yeah,
point.
you had to. Well, I mean, if I'm sure, like if a child was listening to it, they probably wouldn't have got some of the inside jokes, but
Right.
more an adult would have got. But yeah, mostly, I mean, it was great. Um, like my mind's just blank right now, but I'm trying to think. Did
Oh,
anything else really happen on SmackDown that
yeah.
night? I mean,
Um,
I can't
we
really.
got a new Intercontinental Champion
Oh yeah,
crowned.
yeah, Shinsuke
King
Nakamura.
Shinsuke Moore. Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
He
Which I
beat.
was surprised to
Oh,
us.
yeah, that was a big surprise that
Yeah,
that happened. So,
that must
you
have. I
know,
wonder if that was. I mean, I never read anything else on it or anything, but I wonder if that was a
yeah.
last minute decision or something, and they wanted to go a different direction leading up in SummerSlam. But
They could have. Also, something that was SmackDown related that kind of transpired. We had the contract signing between Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks.
right,
Well, shortly after that, they went MIA, missing in action for a while. Reports had it that Frightful Select reported eventually that it was unforeseen circumstances. Nobody really knew what that meant. They missed 2 live house shows.
right,
Well, anyways, PW Insider reports now they are cleared and will be on this Friday night SmackDown. So tomorrow, when you hear this recording, and SummerSlam. So their match is good to go. There was some speculation that their match might be canceled because of unforeseen circumstances. Now, what those were for those two, they've never said. WWE has kept a tight lip. So
yeah, and
we
that's
really
weird.
don't know what the issue was with them, but
Yeah,
they
we
are supposed to
speculated
be
on a
back.
few things, but I
Yeah,
mean, it's we think it might be COVID related, but I think WWE's trying to be real hush hush when it comes to the COVID stuff because we talked about how they were airing all them commercials about people getting vaccinated, but then it seems like a lot of the wrestlers ain't vaccinated, which I mean it's their choice. I get that, but it's like how you gonna sit here and put all these people on TV to get vaccinated, but then you don't do it. But then you said like they haven't really been airing those ads anymore, so
right. They haven't really aired them and haven't really said a whole lot about them. I mean, other than what
right,
we've read,
right, right.
Really, man, that was really about it. That was like three biggest
Yeah, yeah,
things of SmackDown. I mean, that really to us, amounted to something
right,
this week.
right.
So we talked about Rampage, that we talked about SmackDown. So let's
Yeah, let's move to Raw.
go to Raw for this past Monday.
I mean, another kind of lackluster show.
Oh boy, tell me about it.
I mean, it seems like the last 2 weeks, their main focus has really been on Randy Orton and the RK Bro situation. I mean, yeah, they've put in, they still they brought Goldberg back this week. They had to put him on TV before, but um, like I said, I mean, everybody knows that 2 weeks ago Orton showed back up. The Bro's been trying to get him to join, and then this week on Raw, they had that match with the Bro versus AJ Styles, and then Randy Orton walked out on him early in the match, and then I was really surprised. I almost thought AJ was going to probably lose, but once it happened and what they did in the back, then it made sense as to why they had him lose the match. But yeah, and then of course by the end of the night, Randy Orton and them hugged at the end of the night. So now I can't remember because I didn't finish the end of it. Did they actually officially announce the tag team title match before it went off air?
Yeah, Riddle. Once Riddle figured out that they're back together now and everything. Yeah, they did challenge
Omos
and
Styles.
Styles for the Raw Tag Team Championships. Now, it's yet to be seen whether that match is going to be on the main card for SummerSlam, like actually like during the actual SummerSlam event itself at the main
I would
card.
hope so.
But it could be, would they put it on the pre-show? They very well could,
No, they need to
I
put
know
Sheamus on the pre-show and put that match on the main show.
you know what? I look for the Usos to be on the pre-show with the
I'd be
Mysterios.
okay with that.
Something
I don't know,
did
though.
hear. Something I did hear about that real quick. Somebody had. I was reading an article. Oh, wasn't an article. I'm sorry. It was a podcast. It was Going in Raw. I was watching their YouTube channel. Okay, and these guys made speculation that Dominic Mysterio could eventually turn on his dad.
That's what I heard too. But I heard it was going to be more of if they lose and Rey Mysterio's the one that gets the pin, that Dominic's going to get mad at him and turn on him at the end or something, or leave him in the ring or something. But then I don't know if it's the same thing you heard, but they said it could lead up to a match between them and make it a retirement match for Rey Mysterio. Did you hear that?
No, I just heard that him turning on.
Yeah, that was Alex. I don't remember where I read it at, but I did read that was one of the things that they could go, where Dominic would turn on him at the end or something because Ray loses the match and Dominic just gets pissed off about it, and then it can possibly lead to a retirement match against his dad. But
especially since they've been going back and forth with who's doing what.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, I've never like been a big Rey Mysterio fan, so I don't get into it, but. I don't know. Even after all this time and all this training stuff he's had, Dominic just still looks like a wrestler to me. I don't know. It just something about him. I just don't see him looking like a wrestler.
Well, I mean, I agree with you there. We'll get back on track here because I got you off track. Sorry about that. I just happen to remember that.
Man, we're still in WWE, so you're fine.
Raw. I'm gonna say this. Raw as a whole, man. Before being the last one before SummerSlam. At the end of the night, we had Goldberg and Lashley, okay?
Yeah.
And Goldberg speared Lashley. So that right there,
if you call it a spear.
Right, yeah. If you ask me, that right there just seals the deal that Lashley's going to retain that title at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
I just don't see him losing it to Bill Goldberg, who, by the way, has only got 2 matches left in his contract year. So he's got probably next year we'll see him in 2 more matches.
Yeah, and like I said, he specifically came out himself and made it clear that he only has 2 matches. But yeah, and I guess if we want to kind of transition into SummerSlam, we'll go ahead and talk about that match real quick.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's go for it.
So we talked about this. I didn't read this online. I told you this is kind of prediction, so this is like my off-the-wall prediction. I know me and you will come up with those time to time to see if one of them might happen. But the one thing that I brought up I think we talked about it yesterday, is that they keep putting Goldberg's son in the picture so much these last couple times, and it's kind of weird. So to me, I'm going to think that his son's going to be there in his corner. So it's like, and they were talking about different kind of finishes. Bobby Lashley could win clean, Goldberg could win clean, but as I told you from what I'd read, I think there's only been 4 wrestlers that's beaten Goldberg clean. You know what I'm saying? I think one was like Undertaker, The Rock, and then there was 2 more or whatever, but they were big names. Will they do that to give Bobby Lashley a chance? I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then it goes back to at the same time that would they give Goldberg 2 big losses? Both for both his matches this year. Would they give him both losses again? But my prediction on that one is that could his son get involved some way and cost his dad? Maybe he don't do it on purpose. I said it the other day that he'll probably cost him on purpose, but what would be the outcome and why would they do it? I don't know, but there's a reason why they keep bringing his son in the situation, because it's like that really isn't needed for this feud,
Right. I understand. Yeah, they very well could. Something else that I know me and you talked about, we discussed this the other day. I think it was the other night we talked about it, and I actually read on it because they were making more predictions about people going heels and turning face at SummerSlam.
Right.
And one of those predictions were John Cena goes heel at SummerSlam. And let me just clarify this. This is all just speculational talk. People are just talking.
Right.
But if he was to win the championship, he could go heel.
Yeah. That was that is one of the things that I read too that we talked about. But it's, we sit here and try to figure out what could they do with him turning heel, like, because he's involved in the match. And I think, like I said, what we've kind of concluded that if he does win, I guess the best way to turn him heel, do they pull another situation like they did Brock Lesnar, and who had the champion, but he comes and goes as he wants as champion. I think we both agreed that we hope that doesn't happen, because it was awful when they did it before. At first it was kind of cool when they did it, then it just kind of got old after a while. But I don't know. From the rumors I could have read, or I did read, is that they might change him to now like a Brock Lesnar contract where he'll come and go and wrestle every few pay-per-views out of the year now. I feel like I don't ever see them turning him heel though. I don't know. If he was a full-time wrestler, I think it'd be different. But why turn him heel if we're not going to see him again until maybe I don't see him coming back in Survivor Series, because that's supposedly when The Rock's going to be there. And I don't think they're going to do both of them. But you don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know we talked about this, and the thing about it is I just don't know why you would have, the only reason I think you would have John Cena win this match, okay?
Yeah.
Is to make him the 17-time world heavyweight champion.
Right.
And that's to do that partially because maybe, to our knowledge, Ric Flair and Vince McMahon, they left on good terms. All right. That we know of.
Yeah.
So are they doing that on purpose because they don't want to talk about Ric Flair?
I doubt that.
Because what if he does go to AEW? Do they really want to talk about Ric Flair? So you have Cena win the belt, make him 17-time world heavyweight champion and the greatest of all time. Because they've made references about that on SmackDown. Michael Cole has made that several times. So it kind of leads you to believe that there could be a possibility of them having John Cena win the title, but I just feel like you just cannot do it that way, especially when you got Reigns where he's at now. And to me, doing that just breaks everything that you've built Reigns for to this point.
Yeah. Like I told you yesterday, and I'm still the same way. Just because I haven't read anything different, but I'm still 50-50 on who's going to win. I think that John Cena is 50% chance to win, but the problem is that we know he's going to film the movie in another country after SummerSlam.
Right.
I don't know when exactly it's supposed to start, but I don't know. It leaves it open for the fact of that if he does win the title, Reigns is most likely going to have to get a retitle, a rematch,
right.
which I know they technically don't allow that or don't, make that happen anymore. But I don't know. I don't see Reigns. I don't see Cena walking out as champion, but not to go like totally left side, 1,000 feet away. But there is something funny that I did read that, and I don't know if you saw it either, but I mean, we've already talked about it before that Big E's the Money in the Bank champion. We don't expect him to cash in, but Baron Corbin stole the Money in the Bank briefcase, right?
Yes, he did.
They said, what if he cashed in and did that? Then they said, what if somebody stole the Money in the Bank from him and cashed in? Like, how would they, I don't see them go. Especially not with Baron Corbin. That makes no sense.
No.
But I mean, I think we both agree that I don't think Big E's going to cash in yet either, because I still think he's going to Raw anyways. He's going to take it there. But
right.
I don't know. I mean,
yeah, I heard that too. I actually heard it about it. I think it was today. Matter of fact, I was listening to it, and they were saying that, what if he did cash in, because they said that he could go face at SummerSlam, and like change his ways or something could happen. Baron Corbin.
Oh yeah.
So could you imagine, like, in order for him to get his to start his new thing, like to get on top, for him to go and cash in on John Cena and win the the Universal Championship match, and then next week on SmackDown he loses it to Reigns or something like that.
Well, that's what's like. I mean, they didn't. It was kind of weird though that they did that with Baron Corbin stealing it. Because what I read that he stole it. That what if Finn Balor stole it from him, and then by the end of the night, either cashed in after the match or cashed in during. You know what I'm saying? And then made it the triple threat that way. You know what I'm saying? I don't see the triple threat side of it happening, but it is weird.
No, but I could see the cash in, because if Cena was to have won the match, right? We just talked about that. He wins, and let's just say that he runs down there and cashes in the Money in the Bank, and then becomes Universal Champion. Well, then that sets up your next pay-per-view for probably Roman Reigns versus Finn Balor.
Right.
But then it kind of goes like this. So are you saying that you didn't want Big E to have the championship because he's going to Raw?
I don't know.
And that just sets up for him and Lashley, in the fall?
Yeah, but I don't know. They can't. I don't see that probably happening, because for the fact of because I don't know, you can't just steal it and then just cash it in, because I mean the whole thing they did with the Miz last year, they did with the courts though,
Yeah.
So, but unless they're trying to, the only thing with that is maybe they're going to try and set up after this pay per view. They're going to set up a feud with Big E and Baron Corbin just to get it through.
Yeah, they could do that.
Maybe that's where they're going with it, but it is just weird that happened before. I mean, I guess maybe we'll find out tomorrow on SmackDown where they go with it. I guess, but
yeah, that's true.
Man, I can't believe we went into speculation on the two top matches already. What's up with that? Now the rest of the card is just like blah.
Yeah, I know, right? I know. I mean, we are.
Those were like the two main things that we were even really talking about.
Correct. Hey, I'll real quick. We get our bearings back here, so let me just hit this real quick. So I read this today. I thought it was kind of interesting. It is WWE related, okay? And we talked about this, all right? And remember, we brought this up. It wasn't on our podcast. We talked about it in person, about WWE potentially being, for sale, all right? So I read today that Tony Khan was on a talk show on a podcast, and they were asking him a bunch of questions, and um, they brought this up, and I want to read this to you.
Yeah, I read it too.
Oh, did you read it?
Yeah.
All
They just
right.
said they're always open for business. You know,
Yeah.
anything can happen and all this and that. But
Yeah. It just said that we were always open. We're open for business on anything and everything, and even some business plans that have been announced recently. I think are different and/or unique to what the company has traditionally done. Khan pointed out, so we are open for business. If somebody calls, we listen, but not active. We are not out in the marketplace to try to change that structure. So, is it interesting to me? Yeah, I think it's interesting. He was on the Recode Media podcast. That's what he was on when he did that. So I just thought it was interesting, that was mentioned, especially maybe with things going on that's been going on.
yeah.
Let's see here now.
We really went left field when we were talking about SummerSlam.
I know it. I'm sorry. I just had to get that out. So SummerSlam. All right. So we've already talked about the top two matches that we're excited about. All right.
Yeah, I feel well. But before we go off air on this, we'll do it again Saturday pre-show, but we'll go ahead and do our predictions on what we think will happen on each of the matches too. So, like I said, we'll do it at the end. We won't do it for now.
Right.
But,
so we got a triple threat match. Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair versus Nikki ASH for the Raw Women's Championship.
Yeah. They
have really been wearing this out.
Yeah, I know you don't really care for too much for it. I actually think it's been interesting. But the last couple weeks, their booking has been a little weird. They had Nikki Ash, lose, clean this last Monday. You had heard speculation that Charlotte Flair was most likely going to walk out the winner of that. I really hope that's not the case, because to me it would feel like they're just trying to get that Money in the Bank out of the picture. But why would they have done that? I feel like they're trying to make it look like Nikki Ash really ain't that special, or not special, that she's not that great of a contender, and that she really, it was a fluke that she won, and I think she's going to come out on top and keep the belt. And show that she can really beat these top two contenders.
Right. They said too that Rhea Ripley could go heel after that match.
Ain't she technically a heel right now?
Apparently,
you can't even figure out who's what and what. I mean, it's like Nikki Ash is the only good guy in that match. It seems like.
Yeah, I mean, apparently not. Apparently, Charlotte is the heel, and those are quote unquote, I guess, two baby faces or a neutral. I don't know. I just thought it was interesting.
It was funny because somebody was talking about the match, because didn't they have a tag team match at the end of the night or something with Nia Jax or something? Wasn't she later on the night in Raw?
It was.
You sure it was? I thought it was Charlotte and Nia Jax versus Ripley. And
if it was, I don't remember it. I thought it was Rhea Ripley and Nikki Cross, and Charlotte was out on commentary.
That was earlier. I think it was at the end of the night. I think there was a tag team match.
I know what it was. I didn't see that for some reason.
Because somebody had said that they made Nia Jax look strong, like she was the strongest person in that match, like at the end of it or something. Like she should be maybe the next contender, they were saying, because of how much they made her look better than all three of them or something. I didn't watch the ending of it, so I don't know. But
I didn't even know that they had the match, because the last part I saw of that was Charlotte busting into Pierce and Sonya Deville's office and was told her about it, and they said, well, you can get a tag partner, or you can wait till Saturday. So
right. Yeah, that's what trying to see here.
What do you think about this WrestleMania rematch that we're getting at SummerSlam, man, for the SmackDown Women's Championship? Do you think it's going to change hands, or do you believe that Belair is going to retain that title going forward for now?
like I said, we'll give our
Oh,
we
that's right.
think
We'll
the
get
results
predictions
towards the
then.
end.
Yeah. Do you think it's going to be a good match, though? I mean, do you honestly think
I
we're going to get what we
do.
got?
I do. Without actually saying who I think is going to win, one of the rumors going for that match is that supposedly the two girls that are with Sasha Banks is going to turn on her and cost her
Oh,
the match. That's
yeah.
a rumor
I read
because
something about that.
they're saying that if that happens, that they possibly will turn Sasha into a good guy, or a good
So
girl,
make a face
good
turn.
woman. Yeah.
Yeah.
But how many heels would you have? Would that leave on SmackDown? You know what I'm saying? Because I guess you got Bailey, but she's out for a while, so that don't count.
I mean, the SmackDown Women's division is not much.
Yeah. But yeah. Trying to think of what I've heard any really other big rumors. I mean, there ain't really been no rumors about Seth Rollins or Edge match.
No, but
I,
I am looking forward to that
yes,
match.
I think we've both said, or or at least I know I've said that could possibly be the best match of the night. To be honest,
I agree with you because
yeah,
that's been a match in the making for a lot of years. So
yeah. I have a feeling though, however that match ends, that it's going to continue over to the next pay per view again. Though I think they're going to continue that feud for a little bit.
they could because right now, I mean, Edge really don't have anybody else to
Right.
contend with.
Right. Yeah, I mean that's really. I'm trying to think what else. I don't know. Like I said, the card looks good. It will be interesting to see. What do you think the opening match will be?
I would say they're going to probably start out with the tag team match. I would think.
You don't think they would try to open up with a big match? You don't think Bobby Lashley
Well,
match could be last?
I think RKO and them is a big match. If they start out with that, I mean, that's a hot thing right now. I mean, they could start with Bobby Lashley and Goldberg, but I think that's more toward I think it's gonna be midway through the show. I don't think it's gonna be the main event, but definitely gonna probably be midway through.
Right.
That's how it's been kind of going here lately. So
something up here real quick. So we can go through here. Let's see here. Everything's running slow on here real quick. All right, so I guess we can go through here. So we can kind of do some predictions. Drew McIntyre versus Jinder Mahal. Who do you think will actually win that match?
I look for Drew to win that match.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think Drew McIntyre will most likely walk out the winner on that. Only reason I don't see him winning because they're saying that the two guys that are with Mahal, they're not allowed to be at the match or allowed to be at ringside. But could we see somebody else come out and interfere and cause McIntyre to lose, setting up a feud with somebody else, after this? Because
right.
Or do they, does something happen where they extend this into the next pay per view as well, too?
I don't know. They could. I don't know who would be that person though.
I don't either. I see Drew McIntyre walking out champion. If he doesn't as a winner, if he doesn't walk out as winner, then I'm gonna go with that. It's because somebody will interfere and cost him. That was set up, a next feud. Because we're not really big fans of Jinder Mahal, but I feel like this is just kind of a waste of a match. But they got to do something with Drew because he is a big name. So
right. Well, you don't have his two cronies at ringside because Drew beat him in that 2-on-1 handicap match. So
right. Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I said a minute ago about it. Let's see here. So who you feel? Alexa Bliss and Eva Marie.
Are they fighting at SummerSlam?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I seen that they had a little spiff because Nevin or whatever turned on Eva Marie the other night.
Oh,
Piper Nevin. That's it.
Dewdrop?
Yeah, well, she changed her name. It's Piper something now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think Alexa Bliss will most likely win that. I don't think there's a reason why they should give Eva the win right now. Because I mean, I think we already talked about this before, that they're most likely going to set up a feud with Eva and Dewdrop or whatever Piper her name is. But I kind of hope they do something with the doll at the pay-per-view, though. Like, I want to see where they're going to go with that, hopefully.
That would be a good thing if they did something different there, that's for sure.
Yeah. Let's see here. Sheamus versus Damian Priest for the United States Championship.
I look for Damian Priest to walk out United States champion.
Yeah, I'm right there with you because, I mean, Damian Priest hasn't really been. They haven't really like pushed him hard since WrestleMania, but at the same time, they haven't really like done nothing too crazy with Sheamus as the champion. I know he got hurt and stuff, but I'm most likely to see Damian Priest winning this, and walking out the champion, and then of course leading to the next, rematch at the next pay-per-view again, most likely. So.
Right. Hey, real quick, check your phone real quick.
Did you do something?
Yeah, I still look for Damian Priest to walk out U.S. champion.
Yeah. All right, so yeah, like I said, we feel like Damian Priest most likely gonna walk out champion, which will lead to a rematch at the next pay-per-view. Next match, like I said, it hasn't really been said yet, so we don't know if this is going to be on the actual pay-per-view or on the pre-show, but you got the SmackDown Tag Team Championship, Usos versus Rey and Dominic. I guess I'll go ahead and pick that. I think we both believe that Usos are most likely going to walk out as champions still. As to what we talked about earlier, could they... I think something will happen with them splitting soon, because I don't see WWE keeping them in the title picture, unless they try to extend it for another pay-per-view, and then if they don't go that whole route of one turning on the other, then they can maybe split them up in the draft. But like I said, my pick is the Usos are most likely going to walk out as the champions.
I agree. I mean, the only thing about it is that excuse me, you don't have any real face tag teams left.
No.
I mean, you got what we have my mind went blank. Oh, the Profits.
Yeah, the Street Profits.
Street Profits. Their face tag team. I mean, but past that and the Mysterios, you have the Usos, and you have the Dirty Dogs, and then you've got Gable and what's his name?
Yeah, Adam.
Alpha Academy, but those three are all heels. So I mean,
Yeah, I kind of feel like, because they've said plenty of times that Vince McMahon doesn't really care too much for the tag team title or tag team, so I can see them maybe kind of putting it on the back burner for a little bit.
I agree. I just look for the Usos to win that.
Right. Let's go. Like I said, we think this one's going to be the best match of the night. But Edge and Seth Rollins, who do you actually think is going to walk out as winner on that one?
I think it's going to be Edge, and the reason I say that is because he's taken like loss after loss after loss on pay-per-view. He's like 0-2 in the pay-per-view since he's been back.
I think so.
He came back at Royal Rumble. I mean, he won the Royal Rumble, but he lost at he lost at WrestleMania, and then he lost again because of Rollins at Money in the Bank. So, I mean, it would be only fitting for him to win at the pay-per-view. Right. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I think so too. Because I think I don't know. If they give Edge the win, I think he really needs it right now. But I mean, honestly, I think that I don't know. I can actually almost see them maybe being nobody wins. Like, it could be I don't know, it could be a double count out, but like both of them, somehow pin each other or whatever. And they
so like a draw maybe.
Yeah, or they do something where the match has to stop, and then they'll just because I could see that. I could really probably see that happening where it just gets way too out of control because they're so angry at each other. You know what I'm saying? And
right,
that'll lead it to another rematch. But it'll be interesting to see. But if they do have a clear winner, I think Edge will walk out the winner.
I mean, if let's just say Rollins hits the curb stomp, could they put Edge off again for another month or something? I hope not either. So, all right, well, so you're saying it could be a draw or Rollins wins it. I say Edge wins it. So
I think Edge is going to win.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm just saying but I think I could see that happening where they just fight so long and make it so hard that whatever something happens where they knock each other out and they both get they gotta have the medical team come out and take them both out or something. I can see that.
Right.
All right, so this match we know pretty much is for sure, but you never know what could still happen. Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks.
I say Belair will retain just because I mean she just had they just had that big match at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And they're gonna keep the belt on her, I think, at least up to Royal Rumble next year.
Yeah, I agree. I think she's going to win too because I think they had to change it up last minute with Bayley being hurt.
Yeah. Sasha wasn't even supposed to be back yet.
Yeah. I think they went with Sasha because they were trying to stack the card as much as they can, and they had their match at WrestleMania, which was pretty good, but I think they just went that route again just to put the two women back together again. So,
right,
we both believe Belair will walk out as champion. Raw Tag Team Championship: Styles and Omos versus Orton and Riddle. I'll start there. I've been talking about it for a while. I think Orton and Riddle is going to become tag team champions. And the reason why I do feel that now is just that they've pushed it so hard that Orton wasn't going to be his tag partner for so long. And then now they got their match. So it's like you didn't just put all that effort into that for them not to win the belts. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's my prediction. Randy Orton's Riddle's going to win. Most likely we'll set up a rematch for the next pay-per-view, but then not to jump too far off of this, I did read, and I told you last night, that there is talks that AJ Styles is wanting to kind of go to NXT to fight Samoa Joe and start a feud with him, so I can see them maybe splitting them up, maybe at the draft time. But that'll be to be determined. So,
right. I don't know, man. I think they're going to win the tag team belts. I think Omos and then will lose, and Orton will walk out victorious. I know AJ Styles, in the reports that has been out there that he's wanting to go to NXT, and honestly, I guess that's a good thing for him because they really don't have much going on with him right now as far as singles competition. But I don't know, man. I just question why they're moving some of these top talent off the main roster down to NXT, whether he requests it or not.
Right.
I don't know. But we'll find out. So so definitely looks like we're going to have at least one new tag team championship crown this Saturday at SummerSlam.
Right.
So what else we got on the card? What else we got coming?
Let's go with the Raw Women's Championship, the Triple Threat: Charlotte, Nikki, and Rhea Ripley. Who do you think's going to walk out of that?
you know, I would think it would be Nikki ASH just to show that she can beat him. But I'm gonna take a step. I'm gonna do one of my wild predictions kind of thing, I guess. But I see Charlotte Flair getting that belt back.
Yeah, I really hope not. But to put consideration, and I doubt they will. I doubt this would play any kind of effect on it. But the whole thing with her and her husband and being at that show and stuff. I wonder if that would have gave her any heat from that.
Right.
I mean, probably didn't because of Charlotte Flair, and then the whole thing with Ric Flair too. You never know. You would hope that they wouldn't like put that on her, but
Punish her for
yeah,
doing that. Yeah.
for even for the stuff with Ric Flair too. Depending on how bad all that would have happened. But I don't see Charlotte winning. I honestly feel like Nikki's going to keep the title. I don't know. I like to see. I don't know. I'm gonna pick Nikki, but that match is really a toss up to me. I mean they're all over the board with that whole situation.
Oh, I agree.
It really could go anywhere.
They could go Rhea Ripley again, or
Yeah.
something. Or could Nia Jax come out and cost maybe cost Charlotte or something the match, and make Nikki win just so that'll start a feud that way, or maybe she comes out and helps Nikki win, and then that sets up a match at Payback. I think it is after SummerSlam.
Right.
So,
right. Yeah, like I said, that one I think that's really the only match that I think could almost go either way. Out of all of them, I mean, I think out of all the other matches, we can probably really sit here who we think that has the best chance of winning, but that one really is a toss-up to me.
Right.
So we'll go the Raw WWE Championship. Now, before you give your prediction, I'm on this website. It's the CBS Sports, and so these are people that are giving. I don't know who the guy is that's doing this, but somebody's giving a prediction, and I will tell you right now, he has Goldberg winning this. Yeah.
Man, I have read, I think it was like Frightful Select was one of them I read.
Yeah.
And they just nobody really sees Goldberg beating Lashley. I mean, to me it doesn't help Bobby at all. And the other thing is, this is his last match. This is Goldberg's last match of his only 2-match career. I mean, he hasn't been but every other Raw. I just don't know why you would make him champion, and that just I don't know.
But see, that can also be, WWE knows that people know that, and they're, they could be playing into that, and they could have renegotiated his contract and and put another match in there. You never know. You know what I'm saying? They can do that stuff behind the scenes and we not know about it. But I'm with you. I think Lashley's most likely going to walk out a champion. I'm going with my prediction though on that one. The wild prediction that we talked about for each of us, and I think his son's going to have some kind of reason as to why he loses. Now, real quick though, could you see them? I don't know where they could go with it from here, but to add that, like with his son, could they do something where Lashley puts Goldberg in his the Hurt Lock or whatever? I think that's his finisher, right?
Yeah, the Hurt Lock. Yeah.
And Goldberg not wanting to give up, and then like his son maybe like throw the towel in or something like that.
That's a good possibility. I mean, that would be,
I don't know what made me just randomly think
before.
that. I know. I was like, he don't want to see his dad getting hurt or something. I mean, because like I said, it's just too weird that his son's being involved in this like whole build up, and then and then not have nothing to do with it at the last match, or the pay per view. But anything can happen, I guess. But
we've seen some stuff that I got like wild predictions and wild thoughts that I know I said it before with Randy Orton that one night. I said, "He's gonna lose that belt." He was like, "No, he won't." And sure enough, he lost it.
Right, right,
So yeah, anything's good could happen at this pay per view. So
right, right.
and maybe they got something up their sleeve that we don't know about. Maybe they got a big return or something that they've kept quiet. I mean,
All right, so the last one is the Universal Championship, Roman Reigns and John Cena. The main reason I think we're both wanting to, I mean, we're going to watch pay-per-view regardless, but I think this
right.
is really the main match that we want to see. I'll start off. I mean, I'm still 50-50, depending on, I hope that they make SmackDown tomorrow night interesting, but at the same time, sometimes they try to pull stuff like the night before or Raw before, where you can almost predict where they're most likely going to go because of what they do. You know what I'm saying? But
right,
I hope tomorrow night's pretty good. But I tell you right now, that the showdown between them last week, the opening of the night, whatever, that should have probably been on this SmackDown. You know what I'm saying? So they got a big a big thing to overcome what they did last week. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
To make it more interesting. I think that was going to be a hard one to surpass.
Well, I hope they get physical. I look for this to get physical now.
I do too,
because they haven't got physical at all. And now, to me, like something's got to happen. Either Cena gets Reigns, or Reigns attacks Cena, or somebody needs to go to blows with those two tomorrow night to make it interesting, to make it more, you know what I'm saying? Because they got to do something. Because all we've heard is them running their mouth.
Yep. Yeah.
It's time for a little bit of fist to face or something, man.
Yeah. I just, like I said, I'm 50-50. I'm more leaning toward Roman Reigns walking out champion, but I really do hope something crazy does happen. That's what I want. I don't want anything. I don't want just a simple finish, a simple stupid interference, and then it go off the air like that.
Right.
But WWE is one of those ones where they like to send the crowd home happy, and I think Cena winning the belt would be the way to send them home happy.
I don't know, man. I mean, I know a lot of people are for Cena, but there are a lot of people that's out there that's on Reigns' side.
I don't know.
I mean, here's the thing, okay? Here's the thing. I would like to see one or two things happen tomorrow night on SmackDown that's going to give me maybe a small inkling of what they're going to go with at SummerSlam for them, okay?
Uh-huh.
If, let's just say that Cena hits the AA on Reigns, and that's how it goes off the air, well then, to me, that's a good chance that Reigns is going to walk out champ. All right?
You're playing into the whole thing where whoever does the last big thing, one loses.
And if Reigns was to hit the spear or the Superman punch, could that make a inkling as well? I don't know, but I tell you what I'd like to see, and I'm a little biased and I don't care because I got my opinion. I would love to see at the end of tomorrow night go off the air with Roman Reigns drop Cena, whether he speared him or Superman punched him, but lays him out in the middle of the ring, and Roman Reigns puts his big boot on top of Cena's chest and holds that Universal Championship belt up high for everybody to see. To me, that's going to be, I would love to see that because that's just going to be more ammunition, to make Reigns, like a real badass. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. My prediction going tomorrow night is I think they're going to add a level of mystery to the match Saturday, and I think some way, somehow tomorrow night Finn Balor is going to have something to do with them two guys.
Very well could. As far as my prediction for SummerSlam, then for that match, I'm torn just like you are, but I'm leaning more towards Reigns walks out the champion. So I'm gonna go with Reigns walks out Universal Champion going into into Survivor Series time and all that. So.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, that's what I think is going to happen too. But I want madness. I want craziness. I want
you
us
want
to be
anarchy.
I want us to be like this when we're watching. To be like, oh my God, you got to be kidding me! But then we always get disappointed because nothing crazy.
And then it's are you kidding me? Really? We just let me tell you something, man. This pay-per-view here, in my opinion, the WWE has got to hit it on all cylinders to make up for all the crap we've had to watch the past few weeks with Raw being just so mundane, or as Roman Reigns likes to put it, in the missionary position for so long, because that's all they're giving us. We'll see, man. We'll see. I hope that Saturday night just goes phenomenal, and the main event, which more than likely is going to be the Universal Championship.
Oh yeah.
Just is freaking fantastic. It's something, like you said, just something out of the blue happens that you're just like, what the hell? Now I'm gonna tell you this right now, WWE, if you happen to listen to this, or somebody happen to listen to this, for the love of God, don't you dare even bring Corbin's ass out during that match and have him cash in something. I just no. Now,
if you had to say, I don't know what you just did.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good. You're good. Just kind of let me. If anybody returns tomorrow or Saturday night, who would it be? Right now, first person off the top of your head.
Brock Lesnar.
You want to know who I was thinking?
Who?
There ain't been no really talks about it, but Braun Strowman.
That very well could happen. They did hinkle that they were talking about putting him as the match. But I was just thinking, and you said, something that happened off the top of my head. I was sitting there thinking while we was talking about something crazy happening. They kept talking about, oh, Lesnar, not this, Lesnar, not that. What if they do have Lesnar, and they've kept it so hush-hush, and nobody knew about it, and all of a sudden, at the end of the night, when, whoever they decide they want him to fight, whether it's Lashley or Reigns, and he comes out, the pop would be extraordinary.
Yeah, I think that would be awesome. The problem is, why I don't think that would happen is for the fact of that the next pay-per-view is not leading up to a big pay-per-view name, and I feel like they would want to save him for a match for like a Survivor Series or Royal Rumble. You know what I'm saying? But doesn't mean nothing. I mean, it would help the hype going forward, but I don't see him showing up now, for them to use him for payback. You know what I'm saying? And that means he has to. You know what I'm saying? He can just come back and do something, but if that happens, then they're most likely going to use him at the next pay-per-view. But I don't see them hyping, if it was Reigns, him and Reigns at at Payback or whatever. How do you?
No, I still think it's going to be Lashley, just because about The Rock. It wouldn't make sense to bring Lesnar back for a feud of Reigns if we're going to have The Rock versus Reigns, and company at Survivor Series, however it plays out. But
yeah, no, I
agree. I really hope, like I said, I hope the Survivor Series is really really good.
Survivor Series or SummerSlam?
I'm sorry, SummerSlam. I'm sorry. My mind is just going 1,000 miles an hour thinking about all the stuff we talked about.
Yeah, I get it.
So guys, listening to this podcast, if leave a comment and let us know what your predictions are. You can email us at 2dudeswithattitudes97@gmail.com. Email us. Let us know what your predictions are. If we get them, this gets out tonight, be live, whatever. Email us, and then on Saturday when we do our show, we'll read off those emails or your comments.
Yes. Yep.
And we'll do it that way. And then, like Jason said, we're going to be doing predictions again come Saturday night before the pay-per-view starts.
Yeah, everybody, like I said, about 6:30 to 7. Like I said, we'll post something. I'm going to post something on my personal page. I'll probably tag John in it. And then because I don't think we have a whole lot of followers on the actual Facebook page.
No, I don't think we do. We got 6 subscribers, by the way, on YouTube.
Yeah, but we'll. I'll probably have John will probably make a TikTok about it. Maybe make a Facebook, or not a Facebook, but a short YouTube video about it.
Yeah.
Just let everybody know. And then, like I said, it'll probably be on one of our Facebooks. So whatever one we do, I'll probably have John put our names on there so you can look for our, our profiles to find us or whatever, to watch the live feed or whatever. But yeah, like I said, I'm looking forward to that. So should be fun. We'll see how it goes.
Definitely. And I'm really looking forward to it, man. You know what I'm saying? So we'll have to see what happens, especially tomorrow night on SmackDown, being the final SmackDown before SummerSlam.
Right.
Hopefully we'll get something good out of this product. SmackDown seems to be the one that's giving us more excitement, I guess you could say, more story value.
Right.
So it'll be exciting to see.
I agree. All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for us tonight. We appreciate for everybody listening. Like John said, like, subscribe, tell your friends. We're trying to build up that, the popularity to get followers and everything. But we'll see you all Saturday night. This is Two Dudes with Attitudes Wrestling Podcast. I'm Jason.
I'm John.
We'll see you all later.